because I want people to go watch your video on Charvaka podcast channel. But just give us tiny little summary of what you were talking about in that video as well, because I think it's relevant to this discussion that we're having.
Again, this video was a culmination. See, क्या होता था? Abhijit and I have had multiple talks about this offline. देख, मैं 8 साल बाद यूएस आया, तो इस बार मैं बहुत सारे ये थिंक टैंकी वाले लोगों को भी मिला, पीएचडी ग्रेड्स को मिला, बहुत सारे लोगों को मिला. और ये जो हिंदू नेशनलिज्म का, ये मेरा जो बेसिक रिटॉर्ट था ना, ये हिंदू नेशनलिज्म बोलते रहते हैं, दैट द आरएसएस वांट्स अ हिंदू राष्ट्र. तो मैं हमेशा इन लोगों को क्वेश्चन पूछता था कि डिफाइन राष्ट्र, डिफाइन, और स्टील मैन द आर्गुमेंट ऑफ द आरएसएस. मैंने एक ओपन इन्विटेशन भेजा था on Twitter ki anybody who comes will get a platform on my podcast. By the way, nobody took it up. Nobody took it up because nobody knows. So I had to explain, when the RSS talks about a Rashtra, it talks at a civilizational level, as in the nature and essence of society. What these people accuse the RSS and the BJP of trying to do is trying to make a Hindu Rajya, which is actually not what the RSS and BJP is doing. Yes, there will be some spillover, which I call...
What does that spillover look like?
The spillover could be in the form of the directive principles stating that individual states should have the right to decide whether beef should be banned or not, right? Or going for a national beef ban or something like that. That could be one. I'm just stating an individual state or the Indian state could have certain Hindu motifs on the Parliament Hall, on the Supreme Court hall, in the walls. You know, these are the Rashtra identity spilling over the Rajya identity. Like Satyameva Jayate. What is Satyameva Jayate? Is it not a Hindu thing? It is on your Parliament halls and Supreme Courts in India. So that's where the Rashtra is spilling over the Rajya. That's what I mean.
This principle of the state controlling consumption, it has existed throughout history in the most liberal of countries as well. So, for example, assume America is not a perfect democracy, but Britain, EU, and Australia all have very harsh curbs on nicotine and smokes.
Yeah.
What is that? That is personal consumption, and it's not even religious. Okay. Yeah. A lot of states ban dog meat and horse meat in America. Okay. What is that about? Yep. Do you know the very term, when you eat an ice cream sundae, do you know why it is spelled Sunday with an E at the end and not a Y at the end?
Why?
Because
religious leaders objected to it, saying a frivolity should not be named after the holy day, and its name was changed. Spelling was changed from Sunday to Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So you have had religious interference and there are already been ways of overcoming it. Okay, so for example, in Israel, the law says no pig will, quote, I'm quoting the law, no pig will pollute the sacred soil of Israel. Now, Russian Jews eat pork in quantities that make Americans seem like Jews by So when the Russian Jews came to Israel, they were like, okay, no pig will pollute the sacred soil of Israel. So they built cement platforms and started raising pigs on the cement.
That's smart.
Yeah. Right. So look, there is always a ways of banning. Now, if the government is willing to take an economic hit on tobacco production for the sake of health concerns or whatever, why isn't it willing? Why are we still having this debate? तुम्हारा हिंदुत्ववादी सरकार है ना, क्योंकि फिर बीफ को बैन क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं आउटराइट? करो ना, कौन रोक रहा है तुमको? नहीं, कभी नहीं करेंगे.
Because they know Northeast or Kerala में हिंदू बीफ खाते हैं.
Have either of you seen Kantara, that Kannada film?
नहीं,
have either of you seen it?
मैंने नहीं देखी.
I don't watch
the main hero of the film. You know, there is a certain section within Hindu society that promotes कि भाई Hindu should only eat vegetarian. अगर आप non-vegetarian बहुत ज़्यादा खाते हो, you are going against Hindu principles and Hindutva and things like that. There's a section. इस मूवी का जो हीरो है वो जंगल में जाके वाइल्ड बोर हंट करता है और वाइल्ड बोर पका के खाता है. And that is his daily ritual. And he is trying to just be authentic to that part of his culture. क्योंकि कोस्टल कर्नाटका में ये चीजें होती हैं तो उसको छुपाने का कोई मतलब भी नहीं बनता है. He is very proud of it as well. क्या ऋषभ शेट्टी हिंदू नहीं है? क्या कांतारा, is Kantara not one of the best movies in the last 5 years depicting Indic traditions. क्या करें फिर इस फिल्म का? क्या करें फिर ऐसे
यार
लोगों
ये
का?
मतलब सब लोग इतनी तारीफ कर रहे हैं तो देखनी पड़ेगी ये पिक्चर मेरे को।
मैं वही तो बता रहा हूँ, लेकिन इसमें तो ये दबा के हीरो मीट खाता है पूरे टाइम मीट ही खाता है। जब भी खाता है तो मीट ही खाता है, इडली नहीं खा रहा बैठ के, 24 घंटे वाइल्ड बोर खा रहा है। What to do with him? Should we discard him? Should we say his movie does not have any value because he's eating meat?
आयरनी एक सिचुएशन बताता हूँ, मैंने ट्विटर पे हुआ था एक बार, किसी ने बोला था बीफ ईटर्स कैन नॉट बी हिंदूज, और नीचे रतन शारदा who is from the RSS, Ratan ji, Ratan ji is a nice docile man. Ratan ji says, what will happen to our northeast tribal brothers and sisters? This is such a RSS thing. उनका क्या होगा फिर?
कितना भी गाली दे लो आरएसएस को, इनका दिमाग हमेशा उसमें रहता है,
हमेशा साथ में लाना चाहते हैं लोगों को,
जोड़ के रखो, जोड़ के रखो।
Isn't it really sad though that in all of this we have to keep referencing Western societies for self-validation, and we can't come up with a self-confident argument on the reason or rationale or legality of dietary control by ourselves.
Yeah.
You look at most Hindus, they'll say, yeah, try eating pork in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So the left comes back saying, bhai, tu Saudi Arabia hai kya? Now, these same fuckers who say, jaake Saudi Arabia mein beef kha, idhar mat kha, they are the people who will say India is the next America or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, when you give examples of food control in America, then the left stays absolutely silent.
Yeah.
Okay. But these same people will not pressurize the government. Tell me, where is the pressure on the government to ban beef?
Yeah. नहीं करना चाहते ना, वो नहीं करना
चाहते। आके ट्विटर पे जो गरजते हैं, अभी तक किसी ने जाके एक पिटिशन फाइल किया है या एक मोबिलाइज द बीजेपी मास टू बैन बीफ?
हाँ,
नहीं करेंगे,
करेंगे भी नहीं, मुझे लगता है होगा भी नहीं। होगा तो अपना स्टेट लेवल पे होगा, स्टेट लेवल पे है ना कानून, स्टेट लेवल पे लॉज है, बट कंट्री वाइड आई डाउट इट विल हैपन।
Do you know which country has the highest population of cattle anywhere in the world?
Is it Brazil?
India.
Oh, is it India?
Yeah, we have 300 million cattle in this country. For every 4 human beings, we have 1 cow. Okay. Now, obviously, these cows stop becoming milch at some point of time. What are you going to do with them? Okay. This is a huge thing. Now, imagine
either you provide for them. दूसरा solution भी तो provide करना पड़ेगा ना.
The government does not provide for them.
हाँ.
They could be, okay, fine. You can have a national buyback. You can do beef ban in a completely non-coercive way, which is to say, every district will have to have its own gaushala. Or if a district is open, it can buy a gaushala in a rural area, paying monthly or annual rent to that district for use of services. It can take the cows there, and it is the responsibility of the state, of the district administration to feed these cows and things like that.
Yes.
It will come up with your taxes, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is a very non-controversial, easy solution that can be easily implemented, and the government will pay you for your cow at whatever the residual value of that cow is, after it can no longer plow your fields and after it can no longer give milk. Okay. Does the government do that? No. Why? Because understand,
I think UP and MP में होता है ना बस. I think that those are the only 2 states that provide some money for gaushalas.
Some, but it is nowhere near the real price.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Which is why beef smuggling still happens. Cow smuggling still happens out there.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the size of the economy that depends on scavenging the skin for leather? India is one of the biggest leather producers in the world.
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you think all that leather comes from? Okay, so there is a correlation out there, right?
Yeah.
So fine, that the government can't afford it, so it will not ban beef for the sake of beef. It will not ban beef because the economic consequences are so big.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do. And in fact, the worst kind of atrocities on cows are in fact carried out by the dairy industry, not by the meat industry. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Veal, which is the meat of an infant cow, is not the byproduct of the beef industry. It is a byproduct of the dairy industry.
Yeah.
Because all male calves that are born they are unproductive. They are deemed as drinking too much milk, reducing the profitability of the cows. So they're chopped up within a few days of birth and sold in the market.
Yeah.
Even today in India, if you want beef more than buffalo meat, it is veal meat that gets sold in India.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
You go to Old Delhi, they will,
Huh.
when you say bada chota, before chota used to mean goat, bada used to mean cow.
Acha.
These days, the terminology bada chota implies bada
Oh,
is
I had a
buffalo.
friend जो बोलता था. हाँ, I remember. वो खाता था.
These days, chota is the male calf of a cow.
Oh shit. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everybody knows what is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, those poor cows, they are not fed anything. You tum gav mata bolte ho. At least set up a feeding scheme for cows.
Yeah.
वो नहीं करते हो. Are you willing to
और जो
set up
private individuals भी कर रहे हैं, that's only a drop in the ocean, unfortunately. Like, kudos to them, but it's
300
still a drop in the ocean.
You know how much land and how much food and veterinarian care that 300 million cows require?
Mm,
So we pay a lot of lip service to Gau Mata.
that's true.
और इन रंडी के बच्चों में से एक भी नहीं है who will actually go and do the economics of looking after 300 million cows.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I think that somebody needs to raise the point to all of these leaders जो गौ माता करते हैं. I think somebody needs to raise this point to them in complete seriousness. I'd love to see that on like a TV debate sometime. Somebody just ask them point blank, इतना गौ माता आप करते क्या हैं आप गौ माता के लिए